Hello everyone, this is take two. Our recording, or 3 minute 15 seconds in. About 2 minutes in, I got a call off my missus. I thought, kids are going to bed. I thought, I'll hang on for 10 minutes. And then a minute later, it rung again. It was my eldest, my daughter, rung me. How she knows it just turned 3, how to ring me is incredible, I think. But anyway, what I was saying in the first video, this is about Whyte and Itauma, but I just want to tell everyone how well I was feeling. I'm actually in my bed in my Airbnb. I've been here since 5 o'clock. Training really well. I feel amazing, actually. I feel really good. I feel confident, actually. I feel I've been training really well. I've been training really hard and really well. And I finally believe I think I've got really good boxing ability, actually. I've been very lazy and very... I've had no confidence, actually, in all my career till the last couple of fights. I thought it was an experience because I didn't have many amateur fights. I think I let that hold me back, and I've been training really well anyway. I'm in great shape. You would never know it to look at me, but I feel great, actually. And I don't mind saying it out loud. I feel great, and I think I'm doing well, so that's where I'm at anyway. But anyway, Whyte and Itauma, or Itauma-Whyte, I guess, at this stage. I've just been watching loads of stuff on YouTube and sat in bed watching loads of stuff. And there's not much boxing coming up, and that's the next big show. And I thought we'd talk about it. I've been watching a few documentaries. Just watched one with Moses Itauma. Seen a few clips on Instagram. Dylan Whyte looks well. Looks really well, actually. Looks really fit and well. Did some for the zone last week. Me, Bellew, Barker, the proper boxing fella and Roof, who I think works for Ring Magazine, maybe. We did something for the zone last week about Whyte and Itauma. And I just thought now was the time to talk about it, really, as I've just been watching stuff, and I'm the closer it gets, the more intrigued I get, really. So we'll start with Itauma. On a personal level, you know what? I don't know him, actually. I don't know him well at all. I met him in Saudi. Said hello, and that was about it, really. He's a really, serious guy. Fight week, innit? I'm not the most serious guy in the world. On fight week, I'm relaxed, me. I'm not saying that he wasn't relaxed, but he's quiet. I think he's just a quiet guy anyway by the looks of things. But he seems all right. He seems sound. I couldn't say anything more than that. Just been watching his video there. And as I was saying to them the other day, everyone seems to think this is a mismatch. And for me, it's so difficult. I literally watched Itauma. I watched his last fight, especially with the American fella, because in my opinion, the American fella was better than McKean. So Itauma's watched McKean and Balogun, the last two. That aside, the best two we faced were actually the two fellas that took in the distance, who we would call Journeyman, Dobyshenko and Espindola. They can actually fight them two. If they was fitting on it and prepared, and they'd give people they give me a hell of a fight. Them two, they can really fight. They're just a bit short notice and not as interested. But I would say the American fella's box was the best, and I was really impressed with him last time. The speed, the power. He's got a bit of everything, really. He seems to have a bit of everything. Offensively, he looks the business, don't he? But he is still a kid, I think, at 20. Mike Tyson's the only heavyweight, really, who's got to top level at that age. There's no one come close to that success at that age. Would Dylan Whyte put him in that bracket? I don't think so, not at this point. But I guess that's what this fight comes down to, really. If this was Dylan Whyte 2019 or 18, coming off the back of beating Parker and Rivas, I don't think it would be happening. Do you know what I mean? I think Whyte at that point is probably at a similar level to what Parker is now, and you wouldn't put Simon in with Parker. Or I wouldn't, maybe they would, I don't know. I don't know. But on a personal level, I don't know Itauma too well. But I think beating that American fella in that fashion, I would say beyond British level. Like Balogun, I'd put him in with me, Clark, TKV. Yeah, that American fella, yeah, he real handful. And McKean's a bit of an handful, really, at British title level. So that, for me, people say, where is Itauma? I'd say I think them two wins and how we did it might put him beyond British title level, to be honest. But I guess it's where Dylan Whyte is right now. Where is he? We haven't got a clue. But anyway, Dylan Whyte, I boxed him 9 years ago, last week actually. I'm not sure I've covered that fight on this channel, but it just knew to a little bit too much for me at the time, to be honest. The fight went by in the blink of an eye, really. I was 8 rounds down, started doing something in the last 2. I was a bit nervous, he had a good jab. I wouldn't have beat him, I didn't know enough. He knew a little bit too much for me, to be honest. And I went there to survive a few rounds, ended up surviving 8. Because he was fresh enough. He's been and gone. He was a good fighter. I don't think that was the best Dylan Whyte I boxed either. I think he went on to improve. Beat Lewis, and then he boxed Chisora, Hellenius, Parker, Reeves. I ended up being a really good fighter. But I was a sparring partner for him for the Chisora fights. Maybe the Lewison fight as well, and a couple of others as well. So I always found in sparring, he could punch like fucking sparring. But I often think that most heavyweights I've sparred have always hit harder in sparring. Maybe because with bigger gloves, the bigger lumps and the size of the gloves don't really matter as much, and there's more surface area on the glove to hurt you. If that makes sense, that's my scientific outlook on it anyway. But you can spar him fucking hell, didn't half punch. When I boxed him afterwards, I thought, he's a good boxer, but I didn't think he could punch. I went to spar him, and he didn't half whack. To head and body, could really punch. But yeah, I got to know him a little bit. I've not spoken to him for probably over 5 years now. But yeah. So in terms of the fight itself, so I did that thing the other day, that'll probably come out one day this week. And then everyone I spoke to really think it's a mismatch. Just something Ben Davison said. If anyone else in the world boxed Dylan Whyte now, no one else would predict it to win in 2 or 3 rounds. I wouldn't say I agree with that. I don't agree with that. I would expect a fair few of them. Not Usyk or nothing. Usyk hasn't got the style, but like I'd fancy Dubois and a few others. Maybe. But yeah, I think there's a lot of aspects of Itauma really, which comes with the territory, which comes with being the next big thing. My early prediction is an Itauma stoppage. I don't think it happens too early though. I don't think it happens in 1 or 2. I think it'd probably be 6, 7, 8. I think Dylan Whyte will come to survive. I think early on he'll get behind the jab, he'll move. And Itauma, I think he's really clever actually. I watch him, and you wouldn't believe he was 20. And he never boxed as a senior either. He never boxed as a senior amateur. He never, I wouldn't have thought he boxed right on egg guard in that case. So, but he's very clever. He does some very clever things beyond his experience. Because he's not the most experienced either, really. Yes, I think Dillian will be looking to frustrate him. The only holes I've seen in Itauma was when he boxed Espindola and Dobyshenko. He did get frustrated when he didn't have the success he wanted. When Dobyshenko and Espindola made him miss and weren't giving enough. And I expect Dylan Whyte to do that really. That's what I think he will do. And I don't think Itauma's going to punch straight through Dylan Whyte. I'd be very surprised. Very, very surprised. I think as time goes on, I think he'll chip away at him and wear him down. And Dillian will have to have a go eventually, and that's when Itauma will land something. But I don't think it'll be early. Dylan Whyte's too smart for that. I think Dylan Whyte, again, is a much clever boxer than people think. He's super tough, Dylan Whyte, really, really tough. But he's clever as well. And the most interesting point, I guess, is Itauma's not been hit back yet. So it is interesting. I'm really intrigued by it. I want to do this video, really, just to put all my ideas out there, just to create a few talking points, I guess, between my YouTube subscribers, yeah. I like Itauma. I watched that video of him training, and I thought, yeah, thought he's a smart kid, him. He knows what he's on with, don't he? I watched him on about tracking his weight and that with his water intake and stuff, and I thought, what a smart fella he is. But Dylan Whyte's smart as well. Dylan Whyte knows everything about everything. That's one thing I did find out about him. He watches everything about everything. He's a smart fella. He knows the score as well. So, but I'm intrigued by it. I think it's a much harder fight than people are giving Itauma credit for, really. Dylan Whyte has had 3 fights in 3.5 years. The Franklin fight was close, but Franklin's a really, 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 really good heavyweight. So I didn't think beating Franklin in a close one was anything to be ashamed of. Franklin would give anyone a hard fight, really. Joshua didn't look great against him. The last 2 fights has looked out of sorts, but I don't think he's been in shape. I think he'll turn up in shape for this one and be at it. So I think I would go for an Itauma stoppage, 6, 7, 8 rounds, maybe chip away at him and maybe a little bit too fast and fresh. But I think we'll see a better Dylan Whyte than we have for a long time. I just don't think we're going to see the Dylan Whyte of 2018-19 is the problem. But yeah, I've been a fan of Dylan Whyte. I've always been a fan of him. I boxed him, and it's always good to watch him go on to do things. And I know he's a clever boxer, but Itauma, I'd have to say we want Itauma to him because we want him. I want him to be as good as we all make him out to be. I'd love him. I'd love us to have another superstar. It'd be amazing, and hopefully he is. In that DAZN thing, I probably sound negative of him because a lot of things I'm a bit like, we haven't seen it yet. But I'm a big believer in you have to see it to believe it. I watch him and I think he's amazing. I think he's an amazingly talented fighter, but we haven't seen him get hit back. We haven't seen him get pushed back. We haven't seen him be frustrated and get it back. In that frustration, be pushed back, be made to work. Not just be frustrated because you're not getting the stoppage, but be frustrated because you're not having any success and you're getting it back. So I think Itauma's a world-class talent, but I'm not all in yet. I'm not all in as a future undisputed champion just yet. Beating Dylan Whyte in good fashion would go a fair bit of way to making me do that. But I think we still maybe need a little bit more at this stage. But I'm looking forward to it. Dylan Whyte, I'm not going to rule out completely, but I want to go for a mid-round Itauma stoppage. So I'm sure the comments will be full of others' opinions. I'm sure most people think it's a mismatch, but I'm intrigued by it. So let me know what you all think. Thank you for watching.